Everybody, this is Rydo and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Friday, February 16th. I just realized that even though we started late this Friday, it doesn't kind of matter either because Friday streams never get any viewers anyways, anybody on the chat. So I did right by doing a different video earlier today. We're gonna just add random people as we play, and the reason for that is I need to watch and learn. I need also one more victory. We were playing the Paladin Murloc deck. Let's try this custom priest and see what this happens. We still have, even though this is the third recording of today, we still have some news to talk about, and after that, though, that'll be the end of this stream. I'm banging my head against a new Twitter channel I'm following called TechSpot that is talking half about video game related things and half about just tech related things, and there are a lot of overlap, but there are also things that don't overlap. For instance, FDA approving a blood test to detect concussions. Nice to hear. Nothing really to do with video games, more to do with real world sports.
The legions I command.
Let's see. PC Gamer has an article, Why Digital Extremes is finally reworking Warframe's level progression. Instead of constantly pushing forward, Digital Extremes is finally looking back. And I think the reason, in part, is Jim Sterling, because he was playing a lot of Warframe. In between being a wrestler, he decided to play a lot of Warframe, and he's been talking about it a lot. And I think he directly contacted and pushed for them to fix some things that the community has been not happy about for a while. However, this PC Game article, I'm gonna actually see if Jim Sterling is even mentioned, because the thing with anybody that claims responsibility for anything, and Jim Sterling does certainly claim responsibility for affecting the industry probably more than he legitimately could. Why didn't I do that first? That was a mistake.
By the light.
But the problem in that is there's always a chance, you know, just always a chance that people are not seeing the world or telling the truth. Let's see, find. So, Jim. No results for Jim. Sterling. Let's see. Try that again. S-T-E-R-L. Nope. There's no Jim Sterling mentioned in this article, so PC Gamer has a completely different reason than what Jim Sterling would claim is the case. Who is telling the truth? I guess people would have to be more into Warframe to know that which is telling the truth or not. I've really kind of gotten to the point where I'm just ironically watching Jim Sterling's content to see what a failed person who doesn't want to play video games and doesn't want to be a video game critic is like. Of course, that's pretty much all of the escapist. Even Zero Punctuation is like I'm still subscribed to him on my YouTube channel, but I don't really watch his content, and he only makes about one video a month. And he's doing animation, so he's that probably take a lot of effort. He probably spends a month to make a 10-minute animation, and I'm not sure he's getting rewarded. Well, maybe he's got patrons that are paying for it. I'm gonna move forward since I don't care about Warframe though. I'm probably never gonna play it. Gameloft is in the news for a different reason. Despite increased downloads, Gameloft sees a drop in daily and monthly average users, according to a report detailing the company's fiscal year ending December 27. Vivendi posted revenues of $15.6 billion for a year, up 15% year over year, and profits grew by 73.9% year over year to $1.6 billion. However, Gameloft only saw a 12% growth in revenue. Let's see. What can I do? Double the health. Deal 1 damage to all minions. Attack. And guess heal. And that's, I guess, all we can do. Gameloft sells 12% growth in revenue from advertising activities and sales via app stores, with more than 2.5 million downloads per day across all platforms in 2017. 65% of Gameloft's revenues were generated by internally developed franchises from titles like Disney Magic Kingdoms and Asphalt 8 Airborne. The Asphalt series, of course, was the series that Glass Egg was claiming they used material that they didn't have a copyright for. The developer maintained the average 2.5 million downloads per day throughout 2017. Maintaining an average seems like they may have fudged the numbers there. But its monthly active users dropped by 128 million, while the daily active users fell by to 15 million. So, how can two of the most important numbers drop, yet the number of downloads stay the same? That seems like fudging the numbers one way or the other. Even if they just have somebody they're paying to continuously download a copy over and over again of the same thing. Copy a card from the opponent's deck. We'll try it. Charge, can attack heroes. Gameloft disclaims that its reporting results for 2016 only account for the later half of the year due to it being consolidated. It's worth noting that they did not mention the closure of its New Orleans studio or layoffs at Madrid. So yeah, Gameloft is in trouble, or if you want to go down the conspiracy theory, Gamasutra and other news reporting agencies are not happy with Gameloft and they're reporting trouble to lower their stock value, I suppose.
Job's done.
I could see Gameloft being in trouble. I could see the mobile gaming community bubble bursting. I could see I could see that happening. I could, yeah, microtransactions, particularly if they get legislated, could kill a decent collection of. Let's try this priest deck this time. yeah, you could see people like King that owns Candy Crush just shut down in a night if microtransactions go away or people get smart enough to stop buying microtransactions. Moving on, PC Gamer has an article, Farming Simulator 19 reveal trailer wants you to farm like never before, and for the first time in the series in history, you see a barn, a dog, some horses, I think, and a handsome man, and a truck in the following farm. So, no pigs in the trailer reveal. Farming simulators due out in fall and autumn this year. An update here says pigs will. This article is obsessed with whether the game has pigs or not. Pigs will. All animals in Farming Simulator 17 Platinum Edition will be in 19 with the addition of horses. Similar for crops too. The fact that they're up to 19 in Farming Simulators kind of ridiculous. You probably could be at version 4 and just put out patches and work on it, but people like to play these games, particularly in Europe for some reason. I don't know why. Different mentality, I guess. It's probably calming. But who knows. Google has removed the view image button from the image searches following a Getty Images settlement. And the internet is not happy with it. I'm not happy with it at all. Well, it makes you go to the website first to see the image. It probably doesn't change too much unless there's something on the website that's going to try and stop you from right-clicking and saving an image. And see, this is one of the things most people don't know about Google. Google's constantly being sued by everybody, and they're constantly getting forced to not implement new technology or make current technology worse by everybody, because Google, at least a few decades ago, was a major disruptor in many markets. Now maybe not so much, but it is something to consider, and the world is now worse. So the view image button used to allow users to view a given image without needing to actually visit the website it was being hosted on. This feature was beneficial to virtually everyone. It was particularly handy for those with tighter data caps who prefer not load entire websites to view a single image. In addition to the view images button removal, it seems the resolution search button has disappeared. Previously, it was possible to click on a given image's resolution text to be whisked away to another search, which listed all occurrences of that image throughout Google at different resolutions. Since announcing the changes, Google has elaborated on the reasoning. Ultimately, Google Image is a way for people to discover information in the cases of where browsing images is a better experience than text. Having a single button to take people to actionable information about an image is good for users, web publishers, and copyright. The company also confirmed their decision was due at least in part to the previously mentioned settlement with Getty Images. And we could go on. Let's see, there is a extension for Google Chrome. However, I'll just go ahead and install that right now to the extension is called Make Google Image Search Great Again. It's available for Firefox and Chrome, and its source code is on GitHub. Bing and DuckDuckGo and other search engines still offer the same functionality for the moment. And I use the view image all the time, particularly because I'm downloading images to put on Facebook, like silly meme images. Not my public Facebook, my private Facebook. I only annoy my true friends and family with that garbage. Two articles particularly about, can you embed images on your website without violating copyright? Apparently a judge in New York thinks you are violating copyright, where all precedent in the past says no, you weren't. And now you can't even view an image, to download an image to use in what is probably direct copyright infringement. I don't know. Again, more argument I could have to go back to the rant that copyright should be extremely limited. It's way too crazy, way too wild. Copyright and patents in particular, you had to give a working model of something like an engine to the patent office to get a patent. And copyright was really only for books originally, so that somebody couldn't take your 500-page novel and copy everything. And we've gone from the extension that you have a copyright on your entire novel down to the point where you can't probably even quote more than a sentence or two without somebody claiming you're violating their copyright. The NFL, for instance, a single photo of Tom Brady. Moving on, Gematsu has a article, well, not really an article. Cyber Dimension Neptunia 4 Goddesses Online will launch February 27th for PC. It includes English, Japanese, and traditional Chinese subtitles, but no, I assume, well, I'm assuming no actually voiced things. Who can we kill? We can kill this one. And we can do that. What kind of game is it? It has story, 4-person dungeon raids, and magical, and fashion. And what is this? It's an RPG apparently. And the single image is a bunch of anime girls. Well, I'm already following it, so... Well, according to Steam, it does have full audio in English and in Japanese. It just has subtitles in traditional Chinese. But it is also an online game, or the idea of it being... Maybe it isn't an online game. Go back. That might just be the name. Goddesses Online. Single player. Online multiplayer. Alright. It has a single player element. So it does deserve to be on the follow list. We're gonna kill this time. You can buy the Ender's Knife for half off right now during the sale. Why did this not show up when I was looking at all the games on sale? I must have just zoomed through it. The Ender's Knife is like Super Meat Boy in some ways. It plays a little bit differently. Well, in a lot of ways it's like Super Meat Boy. So I'm not sure I'd ever actually play it myself, but I kind of still want it. Just to support the creator. Like, let's see. This. not doing jobs today. Apple Park employees keep walking into the building's glass walls. Apple Park is like the new area that Apple employees are working at. They built this new facility. They put a bunch of giant glass walls everywhere because, frankly, simply put, Steve Jobs was obsessed with glass walls, and because of that, he was also involved in the development of this place. I've lost. Darn it. We're going back to the Murlocs. Again, not very video game released. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle has pricing and DLC announced. Let's see. What is the pricing? Let's see that. Come on. Rock, paper, shotgun. Tell me the actual information. Let's see. The English version of BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. Back to the Murlocs. Will be landing June 5th, a few days after the Japanese debut. The basic version costs $50. The deluxe edition, which includes all the characters present and future, is priced at $70. So kind of expensive, but not really. And the season pass neatly splits the difference. So if you just want to buy the game later and then buy the season pass late at a different time, that's $20. So that's just the same thing, I would assume. Buy the basic version, check it out. Any of these fighting games, once you get to the level of knowing what you're doing in a fighting game and whether you're going to play it enough to get your money out of it, I guess. Like, you really do have to think trying to move into fighting games for the first time. Compared to a $60 like action game, compared to something like Assassin's Creed, where you're going to put 60 hours at least into the play. You could very easily not do that in a fighting game and still pay the amount. You may be paying a very high premium to play for only a few hours. Let's see. This one. And make sure this one is Divine Shield before I do this. And the DLC characters, I'll watch the trailer and see if I can describe or indicate what the DLC characters are. I'm not sure if any of them are actually recognizable from anything else, or if they're just new characters. Watching people play these games, Platinum the Trinity is one character. This anime girl with a giant hammer. Doesn't look like she's recognizable from anything else. Licked Crease Executioner Ore. Like, I don't think that's from anything else either. It sounds German. Ore. O-R-I-E. 2 damage to all enemies. A lot of these fighting games have too much going on. Kanji Tatsumi, a male character with a like car door he's beating people with, I think. Big old piece of metal. And then it's zooming out to show several other characters that probably have already been announced or in the base game. Yeah, too much flashing, honestly. I would say Dragon Ball FighterZ does something that's sort of helpful for new players, in that it's creating a cutscene like environment whenever you're doing a major damage move instead of having the player focus more into doing a major damage move that is also frame perfect and right in line with the rest of the engine. And so more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm of the opinion that Dragon Ball FighterZ might be the game to play, even if you are slightly not into Dragon Ball and you want to eventually work your way into playing something like Street Fighter or one of the Blaze Blue series or Marvel vs. Capcom, if any of those turn out to ever be good. Let's try this. Let's see, Tim Schafer is going to headline EGX Rezzed this April. I don't know what EGX Rezzed is. It's funny, there was a lot of talk about E3, but E3 is like 4 months from now. I was getting the feeling it was coming up in a month. So that's really weird. So I guess I need to just click on this article and see what EGX Rezzed is. Let's see where this is happening. Home of EGX Rezzed. It's in London, so it might be just the London version of EGX, whatever it is. Then Rock Paper Shotgun is the media partner, however, and this was a Rock Paper Shotgun article, so that's fishy. That's unethical to be promoting something that you're involved with and pretending like it's news. The thing about Tim Schafer, though, is he's just old. He's just an old generation guy that made games in the past, but he's running this company that doesn't really know how to make games in the present with modern engines. And so he's doing things like the Full Throttle remaster, which is good. It's kind of what we want from him, is we just want remastered versions of his old games. But when he tries to do something new like Broken Age, it seems like he kickstarted that, and he runs and his company is a major board member of FIG, so he's more into kickstarting now, and like Broken Age was a kickstarted game, and I didn't really like it. I don't think they know what they're doing. I don't think they have that same comedy that they used to have, and I think that's probably because Tim Schafer was really only one of 3 or 4 people that made the old LucasArts games that he was involved with good. A chat app maker called Kako, K-A-K-A-O, has gotten a $130 million investment for its games business. Seriously, Hearthstone. It's 11 o'clock at night. Will you freaking let me have a victory? Oh, I so hate this game sometimes. Put me up against somebody who will let me beat them, or that will randomly disconnect, or whatever. I don't care. Just
Medivh!
Quit matchmaking. This deck isn't that bad.
With honor.
It doesn't deserve to lose 6 games in a row. Look at this. We're at a 57 win ratio somehow. How do we have it that high? This is just irritating. Keiko K-A-K-O, no, K-A-K-A-O is a Korean chat app. The company behind the Korean chat app, Keiko Talk. And guess who gave them the 130? Who, at least in part, gave them the $130 million investment? Tencent. So the apparently Black Desert Online is made by Keiko Games too. So the Chinese company Tencent, which is investing in everything that it can, is investing into a Korean company. I swear Tencent's gonna go down in some kind of money laundering scandal in 10 to 15 years. This is my wild speculation, and it's going to take with it potentially 10% of the entire video game industry, because they'll just have money that they invested over and over again into everybody. Well, the game Demo, D-E-E-M-O, 2 E's, for the Switch is getting 24 new tracks. Let's see. I want to watch this trailer. Seems like there's a pretty significant number of music games on the Switch, more than 2 or 3. It could be I'm just seeing articles about the same music games. However, that is also a possibility. Demo started its life as a mobile phone game, and it has kind of a cutesy sort of anime art style, but I would say it's closer to like a Korean art style, or a really good Western artist doing something like an anime art style. It's just not quite Japanese enough. Hey, I know that sounds weird to say that, but frankly that's sometimes exactly what these feel like. Why it has even that much animation, I don't even know. The idea of Switch games getting updates is groundbreaking in itself, honestly. I was also supposed to be friending people. Give me a friend that I can watch and learn from. Maybe I can learn to win. I'm salty now. This is just pure salt. It's gonna be spewed.
Let me think.
I still got so many articles too. Did I already talk about Monster Prom? The competitive dating sim in which you hook up with monsters. Let's see, do we have any information about this game when it releases? It's released April 27th, 2018. No price tag listed though.
Let me think. Tonight, a tale of terrible tragedy.
Do this and that.
Job's done.
See, the thing can be played locally or online. You can go solo, but it really sounds like there's an experience designed to be shared with a couple of other people. The thing here is I don't see what the real gameplay is on this. Monster problem. The art's got me interested. It's a unique comic book kind of art style. I don't know if I want to use Archie as something. I'll put it on my follow list. It's labeled as a single playable game.
Let me think.
A lot of it though looks like it's kind of visual novel-y with maybe a few decision things. But it's such a different type of game. I can't just knock it out because of that. Travis showed up on the chat. He said, "Hey Rydo, happy Friday." Hey Travis. I'm banging my head against my European account right now, trying to both get somebody to get online so I can do a watch and learn, which means I have to watch somebody win, and to get one more victory with a paladin or priest. And I have tried so many games with the paladin priest and have not succeeded for this last 5th victory. I haven't even looked at the American account yet. As soon as I just get done with the news, I'm gonna call it maybe a night. I started really late because of the other video. I don't know if I really needed to live stream that video. I was thinking more people might interact, but being a Friday, I don't know if more people would have interacted no matter what. Just people are busy on Fridays. Travis says I can get on a bit if you want. Sure, if you want to hop on your European account. Do you have one? I think you do. And try to see if you can do a watch and learn and actually win. That would be cool. And that wouldn't require too much overlap in timing either, because you could be halfway to a victory when I hop in, and that should still count.
For justice.
Here's a long title from Gematsu. Fate Extella Link Tamomo no Mae Elizabeth Barthany and Lil Shuwei. Short gameplay videos and new action system detailed. So I think the name of the game is probably Fate Extella Link Tamamo no Mae, or just Fate Extella. The Fate series is a long-running multi-content series, animes, mangas, video games. I'm not really sure if any of them are actually good. And I think the rest of that title was just descriptions of, here's some screenshots of some new characters. The Japanese people love to make an article about 1 or 2 new screenshots. I wonder, it never really occurred to me, I wonder if you can just attribute the fact that they try to create these hype trains around games in Japan to potentially a more nefarious thought that they are actually micromanaging the time of the artists that create the games. If you're in a really terrible job, then they've got something on your computer, or they're making you go to a website and log what you're doing every hour of the day, every 5 minutes of the day. Like, the lower the number, the worse your job is. I worked a terrible job that had something on the computer that was logging every second, like, of everything. And they were looking at those numbers and using those numbers to complain about your performance over and over again. Perhaps, now, that shouldn't be the case in any job, let's just say that. But perhaps in this highly artistic job of creating video games, where almost everybody on the team is a creative personality, and they should be held to any kind of strict containers. Maybe the Japanese people are doing that. And so the artists are required to make a screenshot of the game they're making every week to prove that they're working, and then since that screenshot is already made, they just give it to the news people. I'd hate to think that's the case, though. I more think that this is just how advertising in Japan works. Is they come out with a video trailer for every single character. More than likely, there's a decent equivalence of the amount of content that is made for internal, like, depiction and hype building. It's just that it doesn't get put out in Western games at the same time. Like, most Western games, it's just like E3, we've got a trailer for E3. When the game is announced, we'll have a trailer, but nothing in between. Where Japanese games, it seems like it's going on forever. Whatever this game is called, Fate Extella, it looks like almost a Dynasty Warriors game. Interesting. Well, since Dynasty Warriors 9 seems not to be that good, maybe more people will move into Fate Extella Link. Moving on. I'm not going to use that. Instead, I'm going to do this and this. And this. I guess I am going to use that. There's a game called Spinch, S-P-I-N-C-H, which is a psychedelic 2D platform inspired by indie comics. What do you mean by indie comics? Do you mean indie comics from the 70s in the psychedelic era, or do you mean indie comics today, which barely mean anything other than they're not owned by Marvel or DC? I think they're going with the psychedelic era, according to this trailer. Spinch is expected to be released this summer. It doesn't look that interesting, honestly. Even with some crazy artistic style, it still looks like the same old things we always see when it comes to platformers. Eurogamer has a review for the game Fe, F-E, not to be confused with Iron. It says it's an uneven indie from EA Originals. That kind of sucks because there's not that many EA original games at all. And so if one of them is not that good, that's great. Trevor says that he has to re-download Hearthstone because he reinstalled Windows yesterday because the PC was running slow. Well, with the Fall Creators Update, that's about the worst time to reinstall Windows. But alright, we'll see if I'm still playing online by the time that installs and everything. I probably will be at this rate. And play this. Let's see. It says Faye is an earnest eco-platformer that is at once under and overcooked. Yeah, I don't even know about Faye. those. Is this an early access review, or is Faye out? Let's see. Because I hadn't even heard that it came out. Nor am I seeing anybody else. So let's just go down to the bottom article and
Let me think.
and the bottom of the article and see what it has to say.
Tonight, a tale of glorious redemption.
Faye's real masterstroke, it says, however, occurs after the credits when you're left to wander a landscape free to both the cloying soundtrack and the hostile presences, scooping up the last collectibles, drinking in the vistas, and witnessing the effects of the triumph. Fair enough, it's just a free play option, but it speaks powerfully to the theme of restoration and coexistence after all. In most games, the world is cast aside the very instant it's saved. Moments like this point to the experience Faye could have been if it were less ramshackle, less enthralled by certain art house titans, and more committed to its own promise. Alas, the experience we're left with is mesmerizing, but a bit of a cacophony. Boy, are those big words. That's big words to say not much.
The battle.
I'm gonna kill this one, that way it dies if it decides to attack this. So, because I can't really squeeze much more out of this article, there's no review number. Let's see.
Reporting for duty. One comment on this article is, what a strange piece, more of a dig at EA than an actual game review. We hunger for vengeance.
The review almost comes out as a conspiracy theory, unfortunately. See, this is interesting because now the commenters are complaining about the review, which I guess I don't look at comments, and so probably always are, if one was to suspect. Yeah, play this and get rid of that and that. So I need more information clearly to make up my mind on Faye. Also, I guess Faye didn't come to PC. I never saw it. I never got a link that said it says PC, but it's an EA game. It's probably only EA Origin, I bet. Yeah. Well, I'll never play it because it's on EA Origin then. If that's the way it's gonna go. Let's see, what do we want to do now? This.
One for all and all for me. Job's done.
Close this article. Let's try to improve things. What is this? Valve, I think, upgraded something. Yeah, Valve released a new version of OpenVR, which is only really interesting to people developing VR. Let's see. There's another year of the Google Summer of Code. and Scum VM, the script creation utility for making a mansion virtual machine, is going to be involved in it, as they are almost every year. So head over to that site if you're going to be programming something and you think you're interested. Normal people need not apply. Gamma Sutra has an article, The Indie Developer's Guide to a Kick-Ass Game Localization Part 1, How to Prepare Your Game for Localization. I wanted to kind of skim over this article just to know as far as what they're going to recommend, because localization could be localization or it could be seen as censorship. Choose one or the other, because that's really what it comes down to. Is let's swap.
That's not a valid target.
That's not gonna work.
All realities, all dimensions.
I'm about to lose again. I think I already sent a friend request to the last person too. Number one tip: use a font that supports all Unicode characters. To make sure the font also allows no break spaces, code scalable text boxes. Those are all very realistic suggestions. Don't hard code text. Avoid graphic text. Avoid concatenated text. Be aware of plurals. Let's see. Plurals in different languages may work differently.
Everyone has a preference.
Do proper editing and proofreading. There's a nice rule. Travis goes, almost done downloading. Keep going, Travis. Keep going. Don't worry. Hearthstone is giving you plenty of time, screwing me over by setting me up against people that are kicking my behind on casual. I should just go back to rank play. Decide the level of localization. Budget, time, and money for localization. Yeah, I imagine it would be a considerably easier process to localize a game if they knew it was going to be translated to a different language from the word go, versus this game sold surprisingly well in Japan. Oh no, now we've got to fix it in a way so that we can sell it in the rest of the Asia or the rest of the world. Let's see, I don't think I ever talked about this because this was in the 6 hours of gameplay footage where I had the microphone messed up. So I'll talk about this article. Travis says low balanced matchmaking. Yeah, that's right. That is laughable. It really doesn't. It really just gives you random people. Which probably means there's a lot smaller pool of players playing Hearthstone than you would suspect. Well, part of the problem too is games have kind of a minimum length to them. So matchmaking would be drastically improved if there were different lengths of games. Like, you're gonna play on casual, this time you have 1 health. Each hero has 1 health. And then next time you play on casual, you might run into somebody where both heroes have 60 health. That way your health just randomly goes up and down to make the length of games different. That still would be pretty fair. It would probably affect a lot of things, certainly. So, Labyrinth of Refrain, Coven of Darkness arrives this fall. It's a NIS America surprise announcement, pretty much. It's a 5-character dungeon crawler anime game. Anime characters. It doesn't look like it's particularly one of the lewd games when you come to dungeon crawlers. Most of them are, but it is kind of a weird, just like combination. You know, what is that anime with Death Jr. on it? Can I remember the name of that anime? Soul Reaper, Soul Keeper,
Job done.
Soul something. There's an anime out there with Soul something in the name, where two kids work together. One turns into a weapon, and the other turns into the weapon Meister, I believe is what it was, Weapon Meister, which is just German for master. And they were going to this school with other people like them, and they were training to work together in this Halloween-esque, very oddly animated world. And they were fighting against something, and then the thing they were initially fighting against I think didn't matter, and over the seasons it kind of kept changing, because it was your standard fighting anime trope, you know, and just the next big bad and the next big bad. Soul Eater, perhaps? That might have been it. It looks like that anime, whatever it is. But I'll leave that alone. There may very well be an anime called Labyrinth of Refrain. The creator, the developer of Dust and Elysian Tale, is bringing a stealth action game called Never Stop Sneaking to PC. Let's watch this trailer. It's also apparently coming to Switch. Animation doesn't look great. In fact, that's really bad looking animation. What happened there? Dust and Elysian Tale is animated great. Sure, it's a bunch of furry animals in a anthropomorphized animals in a weird fantasy world, but now I'm looking at PlayStation 1 era graphics. 3D graphics, I guess. Maybe maybe the developer lost his artist, or maybe the artist wanted to go in a different direction with 3D graphics. Actually, I think I saw a quick look of this game already on Giant Bomb. Maybe they got some early access. Yeah, this game was alright. It's a top-down kind of strategy roguelike game. It had a weird system in which you snuck behind somebody and you would automatically stab them in the back, and if you had a bullet and they saw you, would automatically shoot the bullet. But for the most part, you're just pushing controls and moving the character. So I think I might still be willing to play this game, even though the graphics do look horrible. And I'd like to maybe find out who the animator is for Dust and Elysian Tale, because they seem to have gotten the better amount of skills between the two, between him and the developer. Attack and see what happens. Stardew Valley's multiplayer update is in quality assurance. The beta is expected in the spring. I tell you, 3 hours of streaming before 3 to 6 more hours of streaming is not something that I could do normally. There's some major problems with that stuff. That probably was the beginning of... I wonder what happened there. I may have accidentally removed him. That's kind of why I've decided to stop removing people, is because I'm afraid I'm going to hit the wrong button and take somebody off. There's definitely some people I could remove, but the limit seems to be so high right now that it doesn't matter. We're not doing jobs. Team Rocket blast off in Pokemon Go's wardrobe. Pokemon villains Team Rocket have turned up in the Pokemon Go with a new Dasher's scheme to steal money by selling their uniform as premium cosmetic clothing. Okay, so let's translate this. If you're playing Pokemon Go and you want some Team Rocket clothing, you can buy it now. Oddly though, I would say the Team Rocket clothing you're wearing, it's either from the Rainbow Rocket from last year's Pokemon Sun and Moon, or from the original series. And I would very much prefer to have the original series outfits, not the Rainbow Rocket. Oh man, I totally screwed that up. I totally screwed that up. I should have done this, then done the other spell. Let's see. Code Vein has multiplayer mode and new characters in the screenshots. So there's like one picture with 3 characters running around with giant swords. Thanks. Thanks for that information. I showed off the new Steam wishlist features. They're kind of neat, but they still kind of need some features. Like, there's still not a button to, it seems like, move something up and down the ranked mode of your wish list. It doesn't seem like there's a way to move something to following or remove something from the following list. Whether something has a view details button or an add to cart button seems to be kind of random. Some games are on the wish list that aren't available for purchase yet, and there's not a big enough flashing light saying this game is not available for purchase or pre-purchase yet. Whereas some games are not available for purchase at all, yet they're still in my Steam wish list, and there's no real explanation for that either. But they're working towards succeeding and getting better. Whenever this attacks and kills something, gain +2/+2.
Let this world fall for justice.
Let's just kill this guy right now. The FCC chairman Ajit Pai is under investigation over a $3.9 billion media deal. And oddly, it's not even Verizon and AT&T that he's being investigated over. Sinclair Broadcasting was allowed to try and announced a deal to buy Tribune Media. So he's just letting a major video game, a major news, media conglomerate buy another major media conglomerate, and he changed the rules to make that possible and easier, which is what Ajit Pai has been doing ever since he was allowed into a position of authority. Sadly, we still haven't figured out a way to just keelhaul these people and drag them out in the street and tar and feather them. We have to go through the legal system, sadly, and we'll see if that works. Although he is being investigated by the FCC, and since he's the guy in charge of the FCC, it would be very unsurprising if he found nothing wrong. Travis says, after this game, want to do the watch and learn quest? Yes, I do. I'm hoping you are halfway through a game, but you're not. So, start a game with somebody you think you can beat, and I'll watch and learn. And see, the updates on these are so long. Like, he could be into a game right now and I wouldn't even know. Send out some other friend requests. Just get random people on every account, random people that play later around these times. So So this guy just friended, said, hey mate. I'll not respond to him. Please shut your face. I don't want to be your friend. Well, geez. What a rude guy. There you go. We'll take a moment. This guy's just gone from worse to worse. In fine, been defriended. Maybe I should report him because he was cussing at me at that point by the third comment. Why are you gonna accept a friend request just to be a jerk to somebody? Like, seriously. You have that much negativity in you that you can't even that you have to friend somebody just to hurt other people's feelings or try to hurt other people's feelings? What ridiculousness. So now we're just gonna cheerlead for Travis. It's like rah rah rah, go go go, please win, please win. And while we're doing this, I'm going to go through these articles. A game called Shroud of the Avatar is leaving early access March 27th. Let me watch the trailer. The screenshot doesn't look that good, but I'm willing to give it a little bit more of a chance before I give up. Wow. He's moving well. It's a fantasy RPG that combines single player narrative and a multiplayer MMO. Honestly, it looks like it's just several game elements and assets combined together. Not a direct asset flip, but an attempt to combine a lot of different things. Build custom decks and dynamically activate skills as they're drawn. Card-based play? I'm not seeing any card-based play here. This is... Like, they're throwing out all kinds of words and ideas. Non-instant player housing, like you've never seen before. Like, how can you do that? And there's all kinds of decorating tools too in this game. Player-driven economy with a deep crafting skill. This game is promising the world and everything in it. Forget it. I have no faith in Shroud of the Avatar being anywhere as good as it claims like it's going to be.
Agreed.
Here's a weird TechSpot article. Gamer claims he found a tumor in his hand thanks to the Switch's HD rumble. The Joy-Cons alerted him to a growth 6 months earlier than he would have otherwise noticed. I wonder... I guess maybe he just... In it rumbling, he noticed a hard spot in his hand. Which could be like a nervosa, or it could be a cyst, or it could be anything, or it could be a tumor. And that's why you have to check for things like that. I saw a study that said on average when women do their self-breast exams checking for hard spots and tumors, that they only find about 3 out of every 11 cysts and tumors that are actually there, because A, they don't know what they're doing, and they haven't really been trained how to do a self-breast exam, and the doctors and nurses don't spend the time to actually teach them right, or they don't know how to do it right either. And so that's not great. Let's see. The guys explained that when you pick up a coin in Mario Kart, the HD rumble kicks in with an intense burst of vibration. Whenever this happened, it sent a shooting pain through his palm, through his hand, from his palm to the first joint in his index finger. At first he wrote off the pain as repetitive strain injury. His computer programmer, and he figured it was work-related. However, the pain increased until he could not use the Switch anymore. He had an Xbox as well, and playing that caused no discomfort. And we're looking at his hand, and it looks like there's a bump there. This is what the tumor looks like now. It's in the palm of his right hand, in between the beginning of his pointer finger and the end of his thumb. So right about in the middle where your hand would curve around a controller. Thank you, Travis. Super helpful. Let's see. Good luck on the packs. I'm sure that's what everybody's hoping. Legendary, 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 legendary. 5 legendaries. Nope, no legendaries. I'm getting to the point where I almost have every legendary in my main account, and I have probably what is as much can be expected in my European and Asian accounts for classic packs. So when the next expansion happens, I think particularly will probably not focus as much on buying classic packs. And that one. So that's... So now I can go back to my Murloc games in which I was losing. Let's see. Travis says, have time to play a quick game. Oh man. Sure, I'll concede this and we can play. Let me just click this button. Concede. Absolutely. Maybe that's why we always see people click disconnect, is they get their friends to actually play them. So yeah, I guess if he doesn't have any wild cards, well fine, we'll play standard. If you're feeling pain, see a doctor. Tumor getting caught 6 months earlier is a good thing. Is it? I guess you can't really say anything other than that. It definitely is a good thing. It may not be as important as you would first think, but it's certainly helpful. It may take you 6 months in the United States to get in to see a doctor if something is wrong with you. So gaining an extra 6 months. It's fine. I imagine a tumor in the hand though is not a major thing, as long as it doesn't spread to the rest of your body. Worst case scenario, it deforms your hand. It doesn't crush your lungs, squeeze your brain, you know, crush your heart, bend your spine out of place, compress a spleen. There's a lot squishier things that are a little bit more important than your fingers and your hand. And you've got 2 hands, so losing one isn't as bad as it could be. Let's see. Moving on, Starbreeze is banking on The Walking Dead after posting a pre-tax loss of $22.2 million. Starbreeze had a loss of $22.2 million on revenues for the SEK. What is the SEK? That's some kind of currency. Where is Starbreeze working out of that they're not working in dollars? Let's see. The developer publisher, which owns Payday developer Overkill Studios, expects to show negative earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, or cash flow, until it releases Overkill's The Walking Dead next year. The company predicts the console and PC title will be a huge success and believes that the co-op shooter will help achieve revenues of at least $251.5 million in 2020. I think they are hanging their hat on a lame duck when you're talking a first-person shooter in the Walking Dead universe in 2020. I don't even know if the Walking Dead TV series will still be on the air in 2020. Let's see. Payday had its own problems, and Dead by Daylight was another game they made, and it certainly had its own problems too.
For justice.
I don't think you can have Payday 2, which I assume is also what they released, and Dead by Daylight in a row. Have that give them less than excellent returns.
For justice.
And hang all of your hopes on a TV series, comic book series tie-in. Let's see. The only thing I guess I want to do here, since there's not much more in this article, is let's Google search Overkill's The Walking Dead and just look at a picture of it. They've already got a website, so website's taking forever to load. It says coming fall 2018. The animation of the characters looks very realistic and cool looking.
Reporting for duty.
So if it was supposed to be something like The Last of Us, but The Walking Dead, that would be kind of cool. I'm looking at a trailer now that's purely animation, just like mocap people and things like that. It's probably the introductory cutscene of the game. It seems like the game is set in Washington, D.C. There's zombies on the ground. I'm skipping ahead. The main character, or one of the main characters, has got a baseball bat. It seems like they're not really showing any I do that? Why didn't I do that?
Reporting for duty.
And at the very end of the trailer, they show the guy swinging the bat, and that's it. We'll scroll down. It's coming to Xbox One, Steam, and PC, and PS4. And see, Overkill is the question. It's like, is Overkill a company that I've never heard of? Or is Overkill just a series of games? I guess they needed to call it Overkill's The Walking Dead, though, just to stop just to stop people from confusing it with the several other Walking Dead games. Yeah, I'll be very surprised if we're talking about Overkill's The Walking Dead in 2020. That'll be interesting. The Mafia 3 developer Hangar 13 is suffering layoffs. I don't know why people say companies suffer layoffs. The employees are suffering layoffs. I thought Travis was going to let me win. But okay, fair enough. I'll do this the legitimate way. If he wants to play me again. If he doesn't want to play me again because it's late, I understand that too. So 2K Games say the staffing cuts were necessary to ensure the long-term plans. Mafia 3, kind of a fine game. It's on sale right now, but it's not really anything anybody needed to have created. And it certainly felt that way even at the beginning when it came out. It's like, alright, this game is there, but nobody was really expecting it. It's not too much of a Mafia game from the way it feels. It feels a little bit more like a kind of a racism game. Because you're playing as this African-American character in the racist Louisiana in the 1960s, and also for some random reason he seems to have voodoo dolls that seem to have magical abilities. It was one of the things the reviewers talked about and thought was just weird. And it was just different from the other Mafia games. And it didn't come out with much advertising, and it didn't come out, I think, at the right time. But also, it was just a game that didn't need to exist. And there's too many GTA style clones, and that's what it really felt like, is a Grand Theft Auto clone. And I'm having enough time trying to find enough motivation to play even the most recent Grand Theft Auto games. And we're still not doing job. In something that can be only described as insane, a game called Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn is coming out. It was announced in 2014, a sequel to the classic Shaq Fu game that, for all reason around, shouldn't exist.
For justice. That's incredible.
Shaquille O'Neal still relevant, even though he really shouldn't be. They probably could license his name pretty well. Let's watch the trailer. But just for search engine optimization, I think I would play a Shaq Fu game. So, it's not even him playing basketball. Shaq Fu originally was a a bad, like the trailer right now is saying the game was bad, so I don't even. I'm literally quoting the trailer when the original Shaq Fu was bad. And this version is, they're saying, better, and it's a beat 'em up game. So the basketball player is playing a beat 'em up game. I don't know, but it's crazy enough that it just might work. So
Move quickly. Job done.
Here's a YouTube video. What killed the Prince of Persia series? I can tell you that in a nutshell. Assassin's Creed did. Before Assassin's Creed, the Prince of Persia series was that game, and they didn't want to continue down that road. So I eagerly look forward to when Shaq Fu comes out. It's apparently it was crowdfunded. It's coming for the Switch, PC, PS4, and Xbox One this spring from Saber Interactive. Somebody pledged $4,000 to crowdfund the game to have lunch and a game of basketball at Shaquille O'Neal's house. I don't even know if that included Shaquille O'Neal being there. Oh man, I did it again. I keep forgetting to play equality first. I'm not paying attention, that's why. I'm playing things out of order. Even I can tell that. We already talked about this. The dystopian surveillance thriller Orwell is back for a second season later this month. So, if you liked Orwell, there's more of it. I don't know if it needed a second season. I think we probably had the idea down in the first season. Yeah, I mean, honestly, is the government going to be twice as Orwellian in the second season? Yeah, that doesn't. I don't know. I'd have to actually play the first season before I can even think about playing a second season of the game. It seems pretty obvious. CD Projekt Red came out with some statements talking about how they don't plan on doing loot boxes. Getting some good press. Still kind of some people still kind of holding some grudges against CD Projekt Red for the alleged terrible way they treat their employees and overwork their employees. So take it as you like it. And in the end, earlier today I talked about it's a deeply personal decision whether you want to deny yourself entertainment, in this case playing Cyberpunk or Witcher 3, because you feel that the CD Projekt Red management doesn't listen to its employees and overworks them, or you feel they've done something else wrong. Generally, I'd prefer to just take the entertainment where I can. Sometimes it's a deep, dark, miserable world. Just take the fun that you can have as much as possible, and not worry about the bad things. Particularly since you're probably not going to convince a Polish company to act any differently unless you can get all of video game purchasers to not buy CD Projekt Red the next game, Cyberpunk 2077, because of some kind of strike type thought. I just don't think that's going to happen. Apparently some third-party sellers on Newegg were hawking unreleased, let's see, do I have anything here? Let's just try Paladin cards. they were selling some unreleased Coffee Lake CPUs on Newegg. The items have now been delisted and are no longer available. Coffee Lake being the newest, I think, CPUs from Intel.
Your soul shall be mine. I will fight with honor.
Steam Lunar Sale. PC Gamer suggestions for games you should buy during the Steam Lunar Sale are Heat Signature, Endless Space 2, Hellblade Susuna's Sacrifice. It is only 30% off for Hellblade, but I would totally love that game. And if you can't wait, which maybe a lot of people can't, that would be a good time to do it. They also suggest City Skylines. I would argue against paying $20, even if it is 67% off for Ark Survival Evolved. And then Portal is $1. So, of course, the suggestions change drastically once you have all of those games already.
Well met.
Let's do this.
Reporting for duty.
And then end the turn. The original Devil May Cry trilogy is going to get an HD treatment on PC next month, plus a giveaway via Twitch Prime, which that seems really crazy to have both things happened on March 13th. Travis typed something, then he redacted it before I saw it. It's crazy that they don't even let the moderators read what people wrote. I'm sure the FBI gets to read everything everybody writes. Let's see, do this and just adapt the frame. There we go.
The battle. So the Twitch Prime giveaway scheduled for February 27. Ready to ride.
And see, Rock Paper Shotgun says here only 2 were good of the original 3 DMC games. The first was one of them. It was originally envisioned as a Resident Evil spin-off. Interesting, I didn't know that. Let's go ahead and give it +1. +1.
Let me think. For justice. This is my the battle.
There we go. So I want to get my hands on the Devil May Cry Remaster HD series, and we'll cross our fingers to see if Capcom ever gets around to making a Devil May Cry 5 and ignores the fact that they tried to reboot Devil May Cry with DMC, which I'm fine with that, honestly. If they want to go back to the original series, that's fine with me. Let's see. Travis said, it says I was going to play with my Warlock deck to do my daily quests. Okay. What is your daily quest? Playing Warlock cards?
This is my
Or
responsibility.
Warlock victories?
For justice.
Man, I still have tabs open. Too many tabs. What happened? The game Liar Princess and the Blind Prince has some more details and screenshots. We're not really ready for an announcement date on this game. It looks very cutesy and animated. This is a Gamatsu game. Like, it's a Japanese game, but it's far away from that standard anime. That standard anime style of animation. It's more of a charcoal sketches style of animation. So I'm interested in this game, certainly. We'll see what kind of gameplay it actually has, whether it's just a platformer or maybe even a walking simulator. And the PS4 and Switch versions will sell for about 10,000 yen, which is about $10, and the PS Vita version is about 9,500 yen, which is about $9.50.
Reporting for duty.
Let's just get an attack here.
For justice.
So we've got the price. Did they say there was a release date? May 31. So I'll be interested to see if this one comes to the list.
One shot, one.
Warlock Victory. Says Travis, and I just realized this is the wrong deck. Oh well. Yeah. Well, if I get a victory, I'm gonna mosey on to just show what the America's account is, but I don't even know if I'm gonna play it. I'm thinking we're getting so late now, even for me, and I stay up all night. This is too much playing.
To battle for justice.
So yeah. Did I say the release date besides next month for the Orwell game? It's February 22nd if I didn't mention it.
One shot, one.
Apple confirmed that HomePods can leave white marks on certain surfaces. Uncertain why it would do that, but okay. Is there some kind of asbestos or something in these HomePods?
Reporting for duty. To battle.
Some kind of chalk? There's an 8-bit game called The Ambition of the Slimes that's available for PC via Steam. It's $5. Looks very 8-bitty. It's a RPG game of some sort, but I think you probably play as the slimes. Let me watch this trailer and see. Travis says, yeah, after this I'm gonna play some standard for a bit. So yeah, Ambition of the Slimes. You play as the slimes.
I wonder.
Let's play this. I still have yet to get a card to play this on. This deck is horrible. I've got no minions. The director of Sicario 2 is in talks to make a Call of Duty movie. I don't know if there really is any kind of story in Call of Duty to make a movie. I mean, honestly, you're just making a military movie at that point, aren't you? Like, the last video game movie, I suppose, will be the Mario animated movie. Probably will come out before the Call of Duty movie, and the Tomb Raider movie either has come out or was supposed to come out and got pushed back. So to my recollection, it's the Assassin's Creed movie is the most recent one, and that didn't really succeed at all. And I don't know really how you could have. Assassin's Creed is probably the worst series to try to turn into a live action movie, because it's just full of insanity. That, alright. Purple. Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Strike has a Japanese open beta for February 23rd to 25th. So on this account, I need one more Paladin victory. One more Paladin victory. Let's go over to the Americas account and just see what kind of a mess this is. I don't know if I really have any Japanese fans or people with Japanese accounts, but if you're a big fan of Naruto to Boruto, which I don't know, Shinobi Strike, now you know. Arc System Works and Hidetake Suehiro have announced a game called The Missing, which is crazy because I could have sworn that Swery was making The Good Life and trying to kickstart that. So I need to play 30 Warlock cards if I trade this one. Shaman cards too. And look, I can trade out 2 things, so why not do that? And that didn't work, right? Nope, I can't. This is a bug that happens right at nighttime all the time, is you have the X but it doesn't work. Doesn't seem like it does anything else though. So do I have something that plays Shaman cards? The Overload deck. We'll do that. So we can play that one as we try to move forward. Is there a trailer for Missing? Maybe it was somebody different, not Swery, that was making the Missing. The trailer and the video announcement is just Swery talking to the screen while holding monkeys in an office full of plants. And the title Missing has many meanings. It says a missing person, someone who's lost, or even something lost. Maybe it's your loved one. This is kind of like the new standard way for niche, crazy Japanese creators to tease and release games, is we're just gonna have crazy titles and crazy trailers and keep people interested, and then the game's gonna come out and it's really just gonna be a horror game. The Missing is supposed to come out for consoles. We're not sure, in 2018, but I swear wasn't Swery working on The Good Life. Let's see, career.
Little time.
This. In the turn. No, I guess the last thing he worked on was D4 Dark Dreams Don't Die, and I don't think that ever finished. So Swery is popular because of it's popular from Deadly Premonition, which is popular for its Twin Peaks references, I suppose is what you would say. And then he's made some other games, Lord of Arcana, Lord of Apocalypse. Those are both PSP games that didn't even come out in North America until later. Lord of Apocalypse hasn't even come out in North America. And then Dark Dreams Don't Die, I don't know if that ever finished. Travis, by the way, said time to get rid of this bad Warlock deck. Yeah, a few minutes ago. I didn't quite see that comment until now. Sorry. Dude. This. And do this. Cross your fingers. Hope it works. And do that. Let's see, in October 2016, Swery being his nickname by the way, announced on Twitter he had left Access Games and there would be no more episodes of D4. So it was supposed to be an episodic game. Let's see. And
I wonder.
Like, with it being an episodic game.
I can see what is to come.
You did get a full story. I don't know if we got enough of a story though.
Elements guide me.
That's a real question. Like, it was a partially Kinect game to show how old Dark Games Don't Die. For the PC version, however, the Kinect game has been disabled in favor of mouse controls. Some improvements were also implemented, such as upgrading the frame rate to 60 frames per second, shortening load times, and fixing bugs that were present in the original version. Let's see. So there's a prologue and 2 episodes of the series. So it's a 3 episodes of an unfinished story. I still kind of want to play it, but it's hard to play a game knowing that it's unfinished. And here we have Swery announcing a new game, and hopefully this one would be finished, but who knows. I probably could have just won right there. Well, I'm trying to play cards anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. So we'll keep an eye out for the missing and more announcements. Arc System Works is a weird choice though, because they're the makers of Blaze Blue, and I don't know if they've ever made anything other than fighting games. I guess maybe I should have searched that too. It's getting late to the point where I'm becoming worse at reporting news. Let's see, My Hero Academia is one Justice, adds 3 more characters to the game. I'm not sure if it's coming out in the West yet. Let's see, it's coming to the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC in 2018. In Japan, it's only released for the PS4 and Switch, however. A weird twist. I'm down to 1. My Hero Academia is an anime that may get some popularity in the West. So by the time this game is out, this might be a bigger deal.
My favorite.
Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle is coming out. I think we already talked about that.
I can rest now.
What's the date that's coming out? Do we have a date? I guess they didn't announce a date, they just told you the prices. So it is coming to the US, but who knows when. But this does give me an opportunity to look up Arc System Works. Oh, it's coming out May 31st. Let's see, Arc System Works. Where? Here you are. Let's highlight that
For Doomhammer.
and Google search them and see what games they've actually made besides Blaze Blue games. And Google just knows. If I search anything, I probably want Wikipedia. Double Dragon in 1988. Wow, that's some legacy. Battletoads. They made a Sailor Moon game in 1993. Virtual Open Tennis. Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear X, and many more Guilty Gears. Dragon Ball Z game, a Fist of the North Star game. All of these still kind of feel like fighters and tennis games or hockey games. There's a whole series of family games they made for the Wii to sell. Animal Puzzle Adventure. I'm seeing more Blaze Blue games now that we're in 2012s. Persona 4 Arena, but I don't know if that's all of Persona 4, if they made a side game for Persona 4. It seems like they made a side game. Let's see. Magical Beat for the Vita, more Blaze Blues. Another Dragon Ball game. A detective game for the 3DS. Double Dragon 4 in 2017. Some more Dragon Balls. And they're going to release a game called Zhuan Dao Zi Wang, which I bet that doesn't come into the West under that name. Yeah, I'm looking at everything they've published, everything they've created. It's mostly fighter games, so I don't know how the missing fits into that plan at all. There's a sequel to a game called We Were Here, called We Were Here 2, TOO, where two players cooperate to solve linked escape rooms. I saw someone on YouTube playing it. It looked rather fun, but it's one of those games I probably could never cover myself because I could never get another person to play with me and schedule that time and have two people purchase a game that we're both uncertain about and might be really short. But the concept falls apart if it's just one player switching between two bodies immediately. I am almost, I think. I'm hitting a lot of redundant articles. So I think I'm almost to the point of closing all the tabs. ProZD's Twitter is going to get muted on my account. Nothing wrong with what he was saying particularly. Anything, he's just not really talking about video games or anything that interests me, so I needed more space. There's a problem with letting your Twitter feed just overwork itself, overfill with content. I kind of need my Twitter feed to be tight and precise with just video game news, so I know that's my source of video game news on top of the other sources. Maybe at some point I'd have to make a secondary account, or perhaps I could do something else to fix it. The Screen Actor Guild launched a new initiative to fight sexual harassment. The U.S. Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, of course. That's also the voice actors of video games for the people who use unionized voice actors, which is some of them and some of them don't. see. They kicked off this new initiative by issuing a new call to action and a code of conduct, and they're looking ways to provide further education and training, work with employees and industry partners, and expand its own ability to intervene rapidly to protect members. So, on the face of it, that's all good stuff. On the face of it. I'm sure if I dug deep enough, I could try and find something to be outraged by it. Like, the thing with the Hollywood sexual harassment stuff is it's hard to even be objective and not fully side with the people claiming to be victims, because it's been an obvious and open secret, and it's just being made more of an obvious and open secret that sexual harassment has been happening throughout Hollywood. And if anything, the thing that doesn't get mentioned is how many people were turning a blind eye and condoning and helping the harassers maintain their positions at their job, maintain authority over people. So it's really more of a case of almost everybody in Hollywood is slimy, and a few people that don't want to be labeled slimy are now pretending like they knew nothing about it, when in all honesty they almost certainly did.
Elements guide me. There's little time.
I want to just keep playing cards, so I'm here. There we go. And close that. Close that. Let's go back to Twitter and just see if for some reason on a Friday night there was some news report. It's like I'm moving up in ranked play and I'm not even trying. This is really ridiculous. This will probably be the last game until we go into the silent post show, and I think we'll just silent post show as much as I'm gonna bang my head against a lot of this. Hopefully I'll get really lucky.
Thrall versus Rexa. Let the hunt begin for Doomhammer.
So there's this YouTuber called Published Author that got a content ID strike and is very much complaining about it. I don't know if Published Author is, or Moist Critical maybe. That's his Twitter handle. I don't know who this guy is, but people are retweeting him, so he must have been somewhat famous. Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2 are now available for the Switch. So that's nice. Platinum Games retweeted a new teaser picture. Hell,
There's little time.
if only Bayonetta 2 would ever come to PC and Bayonetta 3. Scrolling down Twitter, trying to see if there's anything more to talk about. Apparently this was day one for Indicate East. Maybe I'll look and see if they have anything interesting to say there.
There is little time.
For Honor gets a new mode and loot in time for the limited edition Apollyon's Legacy event. PC gamers still shilling For Honor. Like they clearly were paid to advertise that game. If only Ubisoft had actually paid to develop the game in a good quality way, instead of turning something out that's just pretty bad. Surprisingly, for as many video game developers and publishers that I have on my Twitter feed, very few of them, relatively speaking, even bother to mention when their game is on sale on Steam. They just don't use their Twitter that way, or they just don't care.
It's time for a little blood.
Let's see, play this.
Job's done.
I retweeted a retweet from Telltale Games where Patrick Norton, I think it was the voice actor of the male version of the character in Minecraft Story Mode. I played as the female version of the character, so I didn't even hear his voice acting. And somebody was asking him why he was in the game, and he just straight out came out and said, because they overpaid me. Because they were willing to pay me more than I was really worth to be a voice actor, because I was someone famous, and so I took the money, which is kind of cool. Excuse me. So yes, we are no way. We need to play a bunch of Warlock cards, a bunch of Shaman cards, and get one more victory in European, and I believe challenge a friend on the Asian account. And I'm an hour and 18 minutes over what I normally run a recording on. I easily could have broken it up into a fourth episode, and I need to learn to start doing that, obviously. That's gonna be it for the non-silent post-show play. I'll keep playing until I just get too tired and can't play anymore. Don't be surprised if I actually just fall asleep playing at this point. That's it for this recording. We've got some news on Monday as far as job listings, I think. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. If you like what I'm doing and want to support me, give me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.